Yes, yes, exactly. I mean, if you want to throw the picture up, you can see that little woman. That's picture number 4.
Picture 4. That's the one with the sort of little. I've seen this picture before, the spaceship thing. That's
well,
off a painting, isn't it?
As well,
medieval
from the 1400s,
painting.
yeah.
Here we go.
So if you see that little lady next to the man from the
alien,
the Easter Island man, you see the Easter Island face there?
Ooh, where is he?
The big goofy-looking guy in the front.
Oh, the one in the front, yeah, with the sort of.
Do you see that little lady standing next to him? Way in the bottom.
Oh, tiny, yeah.
Yes.
She's standing on one of those dressed stones.
That is the stone. That's how big it is. That gives you. That's one that they didn't finish. That was still left in the quarry, which was also 100 miles away. Impossible to move. Impossible for us to do anything with.
It's incredible, isn't it? It is incredible. I mean, you know.
We have to explain it. We have to understand our ancient past.
You couldn't move that using logs.
No.
And rolling it.
No.
You wouldn't get it on the log, would you?
No, we couldn't possibly move such a thing.
It's 300 tons.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
so we start to get to the idea that architecture, art, and artwork and sacred geometry actually have a function within our life cycle. And they have an ability to generate what we consider magic. And ideas of subtle frequencies being manipulated is really what we're looking at.
Okay.
So things that we didn't understand, like electromagnetism, were magic back in the day when you could make two things move with magnets or whatnot. But the power of electromagnetism, that's all right, I need more water.
Electromagnetism.
Yes. Is something that we are now coming in to understand. You know, it's coming into so many play, like our HARP facility, the antenna array in Gacona, Alaska.
Yeah, the auroral. What is this? The high something?
It's the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program.
Yeah, which is in Alaska. Yeah.
And it.
This is the American government's earthquake machine. Isn't it?
It is claimed to be that. Actually, Milosevic in the USA Today accused the U.S. of using it to cause earthquakes in the Middle East. I mean, that was on the front page of the paper. HARP technology is used to create earthquakes. Most said, well, Milosevic's just saying that.
And they're all 8.6, aren't they, on the Richter scale?
You know, I hadn't noticed that.
Apparently a lot of the, well, I don't know, I'm just reading the same kind of stuff that you read, I'm sure, and I've read that a lot of recent earthquakes all around the world have been all exactly the same intensity.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. And a lot of the things that we're seeing that we think are weather anomalies are actually, you know, manipulation.
Yeah.
But to get to that film, the thing that I had recognized now was that Kabbalism was Freemasonry. Freemasonry is Kabbalism. King Solomon was known as a wizard. He was known as a practicer of magic, and he actually called upon many demons and then would assign a sigil or a magic talisman to bind them. Now, to us today, this seems quite odd and strange, and we've never believed in such a thing, but there are so many grimoires and ancient documents of this high magic.
This is a book of spells, a grimoire, isn't it?
Exactly. And in one that is King Solomon's, is the lesser keys of King Solomon, it's known as Goetic magic, or Goetia. And it's considered the lowest, most base form of magic possible. What it is to call upon demons and then use them. And this is considered crass by many magicians. Even Aleister Crowley didn't think Goetia was worth his time.
Really? Well, because he was above it. He had other magic. There was better magic.
Exactly. Yeah, he was feeling like he was in contact with higher beings, so he didn't need to mess with these lowly demons.
He was the man who said, "Do what thou wilt is all of the law."
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, we're going to go for a break now. If you'd like to text in your questions or comments for Freeman, why not do so now to 87778 with the word EDGE, and then your text. See you very soon. Welcome back to On the Edge with me, Theo Chalmers, and my special guest, Freeman, all the way from Austin, Texas. This is getting intense, isn't it, Freeman? We've only done one section. So, I don't know where to get back into it, really. We were talking about esoteric things of the past. How do those things link into the modern day, then? Exactly. That's the big question. And that's the crux of this whole thing, is that we understand civilization as, well, we believe it's just the outcome of human endeavor, that this is what humans would normally build.
But as you begin a conspiracy research, you start to notice that there is a few esoteric orders that are in charge of things. And Freemasonry, of course, being number one.
It's odd, isn't it, that society thinks it's okay to have secret societies. You know, when I'm saying society, I mean like people generally think it's okay or are taught to think it's okay that there are people who are members of secret organisations with secret agendas who are in some positions of power.
Yes.
And that's okay because they do good work.
Exactly, exactly. And their agenda is what we're concerned with, right? And so we want to understand their religion and their thoughts and where they come from. And what is Freemasonry and why? You know, why? And as we discover, like in America, 51% of our presidents all belong to Freemasonry. That's over half the presidents belonging to a single fraternity.
Well, many of them belong to Skull and Bones as well.
And then you add in that level, exactly.
And then you've got chapels of Freemasonry in places like the Vatican.
Yes, yes. It's endless, no matter where you go. And so as we were talking about Solomon's temple and how that relates to the Freemasonic ritual, Solomon being a magi, a magician that cast demons and then used sigils to bind them.
You better explain sigils.
Okay, sigils. Well, let's go to that picture.
Let's go to that picture, that circular. That's it.
Okay, so what you're seeing there on your right or left is the seal of Solomon to bind spirits. Now, this was his main seal after he had cast 72 different demons. He then bound them with separate sigils, but this one bound them all.
Okay, and what's the symbolism here? I mean, I can see the male symbol, but that's the only one that I recognize.
Well, it's very esoteric, and that's the thing. It takes quite a bit of knowledge and a lot of study to become a magician. It is not a flight of fancy. It's something that has a very deep, deep meaning in an ancient science that we don't fully understand.
When you say we, there are people who do understand you.
I would think that there are sorcerers out there, magicians who are worth their ilk. Actually, I can name a few. I've had on my show, the Twin Tower architect, Paul Laffoley. He's a magician that designs time machines. So when people start looking into magic, they don't realize, like I went and met the high priest of the Church of Satan, Rex Church, and he's building a device that opens a portal for the old ones to enter.
Is he really called Rex Church?
Yes, yes. His parents were actually Satanists.
Rex
so he's
means
a generational.
king and church, well, that's quite obvious.
Yeah, he's a generational Satanist, so his parents were Satanists as well. But the concept is that the magic is high tech. You know, they take it to that next level. We're all thinking, you know, oh, witches casting spells or whatnot. But CERN would be a better representation of magic.
This is the nuclear collider in the Swiss Alps.
Exactly, whose logo just happens to be 666. Well, we'll get to that in just a second.
Okay, are we ready for that film?
Well, I was going to show you that what we're looking at,
okay,
if we could throw that up.
Can we have that image again, that we just had on, please?
Because what we're looking at here is this sigil, this magical talisman to bind spirits. Now, over to the right of that, what you're looking at in the white and brown, that is the park out in front of the Nashville Capitol in Tennessee. Now, if you'll see, I moved the park over to the sigil, to the seal of Solomon, and it's an exact match. Even the cross arms are represented. Every portion of that seal of Solomon is represented there.
So what you're saying is, obviously Nashville's a relatively modern city, isn't it?
Yes.
So what you're saying is that this is living on, this occult knowledge is living on and being reproduced in secret, but in plain view.
Exactly.
So whoever built this park knew full well what they were doing. Now, interestingly, Nashville, of course, is the home of American music, isn't it?
Yeah, country music.
Well, certainly country music, but also, I mean, the music industry in America, to some extent, was based there and has been based there.
Absolutely.
Well, certainly the kind
of...
Elvis. Yeah, well, Elvis, absolutely, Sun Studios and so on. What does it mean that these people are doing this? Why, you know...
Well, this actual seal is sitting upon a Native American burial ground. And so it actually states that there are thousands of bodies interred there. So if you want to have a look at it, and then we'll have a talk about it. If you
we'll
want
watch the film. Should we watch that short film? going to see that.
Right? I wonder if that's going to be the case with all the videos.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. So what I'm saying now is basically that what we look at as subtle frequencies, we now understand the electromagnetic spectrum, but do we understand the soul spectrum, the spirit spectrum? And are there devices that we can use to manipulate that?
Yeah, I mean,